Hello, 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 YouTube. Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk Therapy with your girl, Ebony Campbell. Hope you guys had a great day. Thank you for tuning in this week as we go through the 5 stages of change as they relate to recovery and mental health. And we are using as our examples this week, Scooby and the gang as we go through the 5 stages of change. So, I don't know if y'all checked me out. I learned how to do a little animation, put a little Scooby-Doo in them at the beginning of the video. Like I said, I'm learning this thing. You guys are coming on, growing and learning with me, and I'm very, very grateful for that. So I want to go ahead and jump into today's session, today's conversation, today's intervention, as we go through the 3rd stage of change. Before we get started, keeping up our tradition that we've started with our custom-made t-shirt. So my shirt today is, of course, in the Army fatigue, and it's established, or the abbreviation for established, 1978. So that was the year that I was born in. It's the year I was established, and I like to think that was the year that my creator, set aside, prepared my parents, chose them, and, created me, made my little mold. And of course, once he made my mold, it was broken, just like yours now. I keep telling you guys that. So I want you to have that same kind of confidence in who you are and know that you were uniquely made for whatever your purpose may be. And I thank you for, going along with me in my uncharted waters as I tap into what I believe my purpose to be. So, keep in mind the t-shirt. And while we have it for today, once we get into the stage of change that we're going to focus on today. So then we're going to slide on down and move on back so that we can show you guys our... Now, if I would have failed, that would have just been too real for it. But I would have been here for it. And y'all would have been here for it too. And we just had to bear with me while I got up. But at any rate, here is our Coach bag for the day. I can't remember what year this little fatigue number came out, but I really love fatigue. Different shades of green, olive. Now, don't get it twisted. Red is my favorite color, but I love this print. And this is a hiking backpack, and it is considered one of the male bags. However, I don't care. If I like a bag and Coach made it, I want it. And because, with my work, I travel a lot. I'm at a couple of different places throughout the week, so I usually put everything that I have in one of my totes or one of my backpacks. And today's shoes are the olive green and a little orange Vapor Max. So again, I am constantly trying to figure out how to get linked up with Coach so that they can sponsor me, because I promise you, I love them, and they should love me back. But at any rate, we are going to do a little recap. So we talked about Petrosky and DiClemente's model for the stages of change when it comes to recovery and or mental health relapses that we may have. And so they use a model that I shared with you guys on the first night this week, that their model is global. No matter what state that you receive any type of behavioral health, mental health, substance abuse treatment, when it comes to stages of change, with breaking our old habits, developing new ones, we're changing our people, places, and things, this is a common model that's chose, around the United States. Now, I didn't go outside of the United States, but I would dare to venture or dare to say that it's used globally. So I guess I'll just say is I did verify that it's used statewide. So the first stage of change, guys, remember pre-contemplation. It's where you're still in denial It's where someone's making you do something that you need to do. And in Scooby-Doo's case, he's a part of a sleuth gang. They solve mysteries. And so Scooby doesn't want to go and solve mysteries, but he's being, I'm not going to say made to do it, but he's a part of this group that does it. Plus, he's a Great Dane. So, he's a dog. He's supposed to have these characteristics of snooping out, sniffing out, finding things, investigating, all the characteristics of what his nature is. And he's the perfect type of dog to be the pet of this sleuth gang. But we know that Scooby, even though he's down, he doesn't necessarily want to be. He's still hesitant. He doesn't feel like this was his calling. He doesn't feel like he was supposed to be a part of this group. He's in denial for having to get some treatment. And so then our next stage, just, yesterday we talked about contemplation. And that was our boy Shaggy. Shaggy, he's hesitant. Remember, hesitating is contemplating. Contemplating is hesitating. If you got to hesitate to do something, you're still kind of on the fence of doing it. You should, but you're kind of hesitant because of what you've been doing, what you've always done, and you're not necessarily really in a place to be receptive of what you need to be doing or what you should be doing. And so, in that stage, you're a part of this group, you're a part of this thing, you're a part of what it is that you need to be doing, should be doing, all this good stuff. But at the same token, you know that you need this. You know that you're a part of this. You need this treatment. You know that you need, you have the stuff within you to change your habits. You finally see that, hey, maybe it's something to this. Maybe I do belong in this particular group. Maybe I do need this treatment because I am struggling with whatever, that addiction is, or I am succumbing to the symptoms of my mental health diagnosis. And so remember, guys, I asked you to keep in mind the reason for today's custom-made shirt and being established and being created and the scene or the stage being set for you is because the third stage of change is preparation. It's determination. And the model developed by Petrosky and DiClemente describes preparation as, in this stage, people are ready to take action. People start to take small steps toward the behavior change, and they believe changing their behavior can lead to a healthier life. So you start preparing for the life that you want. In 1978, July the 10th, and if I can remember and tell my story correctly, now, my mom has to tell you because I wasn't here, but my version of it, is I was supposed to be born on July the 9th, but I wanted to take my time coming out. And, I wasn't quite prepared to be born on the date that was predicted for me to be born. I like to think that my creator had not made preparation for me to come here on July the 9th. Instead, he prepared for me to come on July the 10th. In 1978, thank him for that year because I don't know how I would have made it in any years prior to that, but I was prepared for such a time as this. From 1978 till now, your girl is still here. Healthy, blessed, happy, thankful, grateful, and ready to help you understand why you were created and established and what your preparation portion of your life is to be. So in this stage, you will have gotten to a place of accepting that you need help. You're struggling with whatever your addiction is. You're struggling with this low self-esteem. You're struggling with the grief that won't let you move forward. You're struggling with the depression that keeps you in bed all day. You're struggling with the egotistical behavior that you have if you're a narcissist, because now you're starting to see it ain't all about me. I live in this world with other people too. So whatever the symptoms of your mental health diagnosis and or your substance abuse diagnosis is, now you're struggling with them because you realize that's really not a part of who you are and who you want to be. And so you want to learn some coping strategies and some different ways to deal with how you're feeling. You're prepared. You're determined now. You're focused now. Your mind is on the task at hand. However, in preparation stage, you can still be distracted. Now remember, there's 5 stages of change, and we're at the 3rd one, so that means we're in the middle. So we're still somewhere between letting it go and learning to embrace the new. And embracing the new, you still have some fear, you still have some doubt, you're still unsure of what the new is going to look like because you're so used to the old. And that's okay. That's what treatment is for. That's what I'm here for. That's what your support system is there for. Because you are going to have some doubts. You're human. You don't know what's on the other side of the change. You don't know if you're going to like it. You don't know what you're going to find. And as I talk about these different characteristics of the preparation stage of change, which Scooby-Doo character, we only have 3 left. Remember, we got Daphne, Velma, and Freddy. Which one do you think exhibits characteristics of this stage of change? I don't know how many of you guessed it, but it's your boy Freddy. So Freddy is clean cut. He dressed to the nines. He have his little ascot out his neck. He ain't playing with nobody. He groomed. You know, he's not like Shaggy. He's not relaxed. He's stiff. He's cut. He's to the point. He's prepared. He's dressed. But he's also considered the odd one in this group. He's socially awkward. He doesn't know how to act around people. So I don't know how to act in this group because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I share in a substance group, if people are going to take my business back out here in the street. I don't know if I'm ready to even admit to other people what I've just accepted about myself. He gets very, very interested in weird topics, but he's also very sensitive. Freddy is handsome. You know, he's got a swag. He is the leader a little bit, or at least in his mind he feels he is, because he's gotten to this status or what have you. He tries to keep everybody focused on the task, and he's determined to go through with the task, but he still doesn't really know where the task will lead him. He still isn't really sure that ghosts exist, but he's a part of this sleuth gang. You know, he questions or tries to find another solution without having to really go all the way through and solve these mysteries. So your boy Freddy is in the middle, teeter-tottering. He doesn't really know. You know, he knows he needs to go. He's prepared to go. He's dressed for such occasion. He's got his mind in the right place. He's determined to follow through with the task, but he is still a little, hesitant. Just a little. Not as much as Shaggy in that contemplation stage, and definitely not as much as Scooby and pre-contemplation. So, once you get to this stage and you start preparing yourself for making changes and moving forward in your life and doing what you need to do to make it to the other side, to fulfill the task at hand, remember, sometimes the task is to get DSS off my back. So some people truly can focus long enough to do what they need to do to get to the end goal. And sometimes the end goal is not necessarily to create a new change for myself, but it's to get some of this old baggage that I've been carrying, or, like I always say, get Malik off my back or get the monkey off my back. Nonetheless, you've gotten to this point. Now you're focused. Now you're ready to see this thing through to the end. So when you get to this stage, you definitely need to be applauding yourself. You definitely need to be in a different mindset and thinking differently. You should be a little more sober-minded because you're not using as much of that substance as you used to be. You should have a little more self-esteem because you're not down in the dumps as much as you used to be. You should have a little more money in your pocket because you're not taking everything that you had to go to the gambling house, like you used to be. You should have a little more confidence in who you are. You should be able to kind of get up out of bed and not have as many sleepless nights and crying yourself to sleep because you don't know how to handle your grief, because you're halfway through making the change that is necessary for you to see your way out of this thing. Recovery is not easy. It's not at all. And as I begin to bring this session to a close, I want you guys to take some time and Google a picture of a tow truck. And I'm going to try to insert one at the end of this video so that you can see what I'm talking about. When you get to that preparation stage, now is the time for you to rely on whatever helps keep you anchored. Freddie is described as the anchor of the group because when everybody else is kind of everywhere else, he can bring them all together. And in recovery, sometimes, people tend to rely on whatever they consider their higher power to be. Remember, we talked about that. So we won't name any religions or anything in particular, but whomever or whatever your higher power is. And so for me, I've already expressed, my Christian belief, my spiritual belief, or what have you. But when I look at the back of a tow truck, there's this part, I don't even know what the tool is called, but when the tow truck is closed and it's riding, it looks like a cross. And when I think about the cross, I think about where I can go, where I'm anchored, where I can go, where I'm safe, where I can go to be towed back to a healthy and happy space. What does a tow truck do? When you broke down, the tow truck comes to give you help. It comes to get you where you were trying to go from where you were stuck. You had to have some help so you wouldn't stay stuck. So in preparation, you've made it this far. It's nothing wrong with getting a little more help. It's nothing wrong with trying to figure out who and what and how, you will rely on or depend on to be your tow truck in recovery to carry you to that next stage of change. So guys, thank you so much, for coming back today, tuning in. Remember, you're not going to get these different interventions explained the way I'm going to break them down, the analogies. You're not going to get it anywhere else, but I hope I'm making it plain enough for you to realize that in recovery, you definitely need some help. You can't do it by yourself, and you shouldn't want to do it by yourself. So I want to encourage you guys to continue to stay focused on whatever it is that you're trying to do. Continue to look to those supports, those natural supports, to include your higher power so that you're not stuck and stagnant when you get to the preparation part, the determination part, when you're establishing a new life for yourself and a new way to go. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. Please continue to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed and you're viewing me, please take the time to create a YouTube account. It's free. Hit that subscription. Get the notifications. Like I said, new things are coming. I guarantee you this channel is going to get bigger and better as we go through. Please continue to like, share, comment. I'm also going to include the Real Talk Therapy email address where you can reach us to order any shirts or, if there's some stuff you want to do one-on-one, whatever it is you'd like to do. If you need help with those DWIs and those DUIs, definitely. And if you just want some guidance and have a conversation about, I think I'm here. Can you help me? Can you get in these uncharted waters with me? I'm here for y'all. So I want to thank you so much for being here for me. So come back tomorrow. We only got 2 characters left. 2 and 2 stages of change left. So you guys have a good one. See you tomorrow.